At this point, we have the source data which is replicated to a staging database is ready, and the target database is also ready. So let's have a look at the database view. So we have the source data which has been replicated to the staging database. It's ready, and the target database is also ready. And if you see, there is a staging rep DB here, and it has its tables. Okay, customer online tables. Similar way, we have the target database and the corresponding tables. Okay, so we'll address the target database later. First, let's finish the source database extract, which is we have further broken it down to this way. Okay, first we extract the source database and load it to the reconciliation database. Extract to CSV file and so let's do that bit first. To do that, let's go to our strategy document where we'll pick the extract script. Yeah, here. Okay, this is the extract script. So copy it and run. What it is doing, it is picking ID and email ID from staging database, public schema and customer entity. Let's run it. Okay, so it has picked all the records sorted by ID. So in reality, we may have thousands and thousands and millions of records here, but for simplicity, for the sake of understanding, I have picked only few rows so that you can understand the principles and the concepts how the reconciliation is done. Okay, now extract these records into a CSV file. To extract it, you can simply copy paste to a CSV file, or there is a utility here. See here, download. So let's download that. Download, add column header, which is ID and email ID. See here. Okay, now we'll load it to a matching database, which is, for example, source customer.csv. Okay, let's see our automation script how it looks. Similar table will match. Source customer. Okay, basically you can give any name, it doesn't matter, but we'll just make it a little bit elegant here. Source underscore customer CSV, and it is going to the downloads folder. Export to file. Okay, so we have the downloads folder here. Source customer. Let's have a look. It has picked those data or not. Yes, ID, email is this, and you can have a grid view also. See this down here. So there are IDs and the email IDs, and we'll copy this into our automation script where it is expecting this CSV file to be. Okay, so I have copied that. You can simply go to the data and copy it. Control C and Control V. Yeah, and you have the source customer record. You see there are two files here. You can simply drag and have a look once again. Okay, so the IDs and email, grid view, exactly same. So the data is here under the data folder. So let's execute the first step. Let's fit that loading process of that CSV file to reconciliation database as a first step, first automation step. Okay, before that, if you observe in our staging database, there is no Recon schema available here. Okay, see, only the staging schema is available. So we are going to create a temporary Recon schema here via the automation script. Okay, so I have already created here. Have a look, the SQL, and it is called DDL script. DDL stands for data definition language. So what it is doing in a nutshell is drop schema if exists recon cascade. So this is the Postgres command. It literally means if there is a schema called recon, drop it. If there is nothing, no schema named recon, don't do anything. So this line will execute, then it will come to the next line, which is saying create schema recon, and take this to next line. At this point, the recon will be created, which is missing here because we have not yet executed. Then once the recon is created, then go and create a source customer table with matching ID. What we saw, we just copied our CSV file here, ID and email. ID and email. So ID is integer, email is text. Okay. As soon as this line executed, go and execute the next line, which is alter database staging rep db set search path to recon schema and public schema. So what does that mean is, on the top level we have the database, which is staging rep db. Under that, it's hanging. Okay, under that we have a public schema and the recon schema, which our automation script is going to create in a moment. Set the search path so that we should be able to run our queries. In a nutshell, it means this. Okay, that means your script, your automation program or automation script has access to both the schemas, but we literally need only this recon schema. That should be enough for us. But anyway, as a generic we have given this. Now let's go to our script. So in our script, we are telling it is simply a create recon database schema. So this is a free text. You can type whatever you want, doesn't matter. Then we are giving the driver and executor details, which execute the script, and what is the operation we want to execute, that we have mentioned here, which is nothing but execute. And to that executor, we are telling that pick the SQL file named ddl.sql from the SQL folder. See here, our resources is having a folder called SQL. From there, pick this script, ddl script, and execute the entire thing. So that is our first step. No, sorry. This step we have not yet reached. This step we are not yet there. We are just preparing our database to execute this step. So we are doing a pre-step before this. So this is the pre-step, which is pick the DDL script and execute it and verify it is successfully executed. If it returns nothing, means successfully executed. If it returns error, this step is going to fail. But we are expecting it should pass. Okay. So this step is done. Now, as soon as this step is done, successfully executed, go to the next step, which is our loading that CSV file to the reconciliation database. That means as soon as this step is executed, we should have a schema here in this called recon, which is currently missing. Okay, that's pretty much it is saying that way. Now again, the second step, which we are fitting that into the automation script, which we are saying that load the CSV file, source CSV extract. Okay, this is a pretext, anything you can type. Again, we are taking the help of the executor which is we are calling it database magic executor, and this time it is load CSV, you see. And what is the request to that executor? That we are telling that create a table called source_customer and pick the CSV file and load that CSV data into this table with headers, yes, as true. So our data looks like this. It has headers, which is ID and email, and take all this data, and in the earlier step this table has already been created. Here table is created, and we are assuming the table is available and load the data with the header. And if this bit goes successful, then we have to verify. We have to verify that 2 records has been loaded. If this loads more or less than 2 records, then this will not match, so it will fail. But we are expecting that if this steps successfully executed until here, then this verification block, which is nothing but assertion, you can type assertions here as well, it works. So 2 records has been loaded to the database. Okay, so we are done with this step now. Let's mark this. So extraction is done, load CSV is done. Okay, now what is the final step it is doing? It is just verifying. Again, this is the pretext. Again, we are taking the magic executor help, and this time it's execute what? Check ID and email in the Recon database, Recon schema, and source customer. We are assuming that this has been successfully run, and this step also successfully run, and this step we are telling to select these fields and make sure the size is 2. Also we are doing additional verification, which is asserting the records as well. So you can arrange the records this way also. Let's make it a single line. So this is the beauty of JSON data. So you put it in single line, multi-line, doesn't matter. It will still keep the values intact. So this is one record which has email ID is this and record ID is this. Second one, email ID is this, John Doe, and record ID is this. Okay, so that's pretty much. So let's do a recap. Step 1 is this, which is creating a Recon schema and corresponding table, which we saw in DDL script. And step number 2 is load the CSV extract, which we copied from the database, into the source customer table, which has been created earlier. Load that and assert that there are 2 records loaded. And the last step is just to verify that whatever we have loaded, it is exactly matching whatever they are in the CSV file or the source data. That's pretty much it is doing. Okay, basically we have executing just this step and this step, but we've added one additional step. Shouldn't be a problem. Okay, step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, and this is the scenario name. You can, this is a pretext, you can put whatever you want. I put some author names, Chandra and Shiad. Okay, let's close this file, and I want to run that now. So to run this, there are multiple ways you can run. You know, this file is a JSON file, and this JSON file, we have a runner here, which is called reconciliation test. It's pointing to this JSON file. and the host properties are Recon DB properties. If you go inside this, it has the host and port and the staging rep DB and user and password, and we have the executor mapping here. Okay, so let's run it. Run. I'll also show you how to run from the command line. If you don't want to run via runner, you can do the CLI as well. Okay, test scenario has been done. Let's exactly see. So this is the scenario. It executed. And let's expand this bit. So create DB schema. Let's go to that step. Yeah, so this is the step. Executed. And it has picked the script to see drop schema, create schema, and create table, and it is successfully executed and the step has passed. Now close this and go to the next step, which is load the source file. Load source CSV file. Okay. Again, we told to pick the source customer CSV and load it, and it has done. It has given the actual response as 2. That means 2 records loaded, and we are expecting also 2, hence the step passed. So this step is also fine. It is successfully run. Let's go to third one. Copy this. Yes. Here. Last step is a validation step, just a verification thing. So it is selecting from the newly created schema and the entity, and it has given the response of this. And what is our expectation? Our expectation is size is 2 and ID is that, email that, so that's why it also passed. Okay, so everything has gone fine, but let's see the database. You see, database Recon is not showing because we have not refreshed it. Let's refresh this staging DB, and here is the refresh button. Refresh it. So Recon has come. Let's see, we have the table or not. Yes, we have the table and the columns. Okay, so that's pretty much, we have automated source, extract, and the loaded into the reconciliation database and validated the record as well as the record count. Same thing we'll repeat for target. Okay, and load that, then assert the target count, we'll do that, then we'll go to the reconciliation process. Okay, so now our stage 1 is done. I'll recap everything what we have done now, and I'll show you a failure scenario just to see whether our automation script are run or not. Okay, before that, let's run via CLI as well. CLI, we can simply type. Okay, before that, let's see, has it generated in reports, the test reports? Yes. You can double click, or you can go to the folder and double click here. So this is, you see, this is Syed and Chandra and all. So we have run only one test, so that's why it is showing 1, and 100% passed. Okay, one test, 100% passed. Okay, nothing much to see, but I'm just showing the record. If you click in the scenario, it will also show you what all steps it has executed. Okay? It has executed database creation step, loading the CSV step, and verifying the loaded data. If you expand this, it will also further show what all things it did. Okay, passed. That's it, so on and so forth. Okay, now let's go back to the test script. Let me expand everything here. Okay, I've expanded everything. Now just for sanity purpose, If you think it as a black box, imagine you are expecting, let's say, 10 records. You will put as 10 here. Okay. Now, if you run this, it should fail. See here, it failed. So while loading the actual response, the test script gave us 2, but you are expecting 10, so it failed. Okay, that means our automation script is perfectly working. See, so far you have automated the source aspects, everything, without writing a single line of code, just a JSON file. You finished everything. Now let's rerun this. Yeah, so it's fine. Now I was midway through showing you the command line execution. Command line execution is very simple. You take help of Maven, which is mbn test space -d test equal to, copy this and paste it here and hit enter. See, they run. So this is where it started running, and it ran the first step, second step, which it extracted and loaded into the database, and the third step is check and validate where row size is matching. Okay, at this point we are done with automation of source database extract, loading and validating the counts. Okay, there are much to do, but at this point so we can make it a little more smarter here. You see, instead of size 2 here, you can make your script matching this size without hard coding here. So you can delete this and you can do this way. What is it? This step. So there is a placeholder called JSON placeholder, and you put in the start of the element is $, dot step name dot response.size. It's already kind of IntelliSense is ID lint is giving you that response.size, and let's run it. Okay, okay, so it failed. You see, it's saying the value 2 did not match 2, but there is a catch here. The 2 is in string here and this is integer, so that's the thing in JSON. So we'll fix that. Even if you run via the runner, you are going to see the same result, of course, but this is a nice view you can have. Like, see, it's a red color view. It's failed and it's exactly showing the same message because it's the same text. Of course, now let's fix it, because this is, if it's a string, then straight away it matches. Because it is integer, you can convert it to int and run it. That's it, it's done. Okay, so everything passed here. Size is 2 and this 2. And even if you not interested in the content, you can delete this comma and just rerun it, because most of the time if you are running millions of records, you are not really interested in the content, but you are interested only in the count. Run it. Yeah, so your expectation was 2, and you have got 2 records. The test passed. Okay, now we'll stop here for time being and we'll resume exactly same steps for the target database.